Welcome to the Real Estate 360 podcast. How are you today? And welcome. Listen, this is the first episode of season 2. We're going to have a lot of great information throughout this season. I want you to make sure that if you're listening to this right now, that you subscribe, that you download the clips that you like, listen to the past episodes, and really just enjoy. Now, on today's episode, we're going to talk a lot about your individual game plan. I mean, we're in a new year, it's the first month of 21. And if you've been thinking about getting involved in real estate, this is the one that you need to listen to, okay? If you've been involved in real estate and you're just really starting out, maybe you've done a deal or two or you're just in the process, this is the one that you need to be listening to right now, okay? So, go get yourself a glass of water, a Coke, whatever it is you like, and come on back here because in 10 seconds, we're at it. See you in a minute. So, listen, I want to thank everyone. We had the first season end. It was great. It was beautiful. This is the first episode of the second season, right? This is, I believe, episode 56. So I want to thank everyone again for all the support, and I want you guys to continue to listen, of course. One of the most important things that I really appreciate is the engagement that I get from you guys. Whether it's on the podcast, and you're commenting there on whatever platform you're on, whether it's, Apple Music, Spotify, whatever it is, iHeartRadio, whatever platform you listen to these podcasts on, please comment, share, let me know what you like. I love it when you guys do that, as well as if you're listening or watching, I should say, on YouTube. If you're checking us out on YouTube and you get a chance to see, what's going on and, all the craziness that we actually get into, sometimes we like to have fun. Do the same thing, share it with your people, subscribe, download, do all those things, but engage. And once you engage, I promise I'll get you a shout out. I'll shout you out just to acknowledge you because I appreciate you. So thank you for that. Thank you very much for that. Now, today I want to talk about what you have to do to get involved in real estate. I want to pull it back from, where we could go, where we could take this with, a lot of the bigger things that we do. And I want to talk right now to people that are just starting out. Maybe you're thinking about getting started. Maybe you've gotten started and you're, going through the motions right now. You're doing some marketing or some cold calling or, whatever it is, or you've done a deal or two, but, you don't know what's next. You don't know where you're really going from here. I want to talk about setting up a game plan. It's January 2021. It's a new year. We've got a new administration in office. There's a lot of uncertainty really in the world, but that uncertainty brings promise, because think about it, if you're listening to this, we've all lived through, a tough time, the collapse of a bubble, right? We've seen recessions. We understand what that feels like, but we also saw a lot of people get wealthy outside of that. Now, I've had an opportunity to speak with a lot of people, just really over the last year, I'd say, and just ask questions. I would just ask questions about just the basic things, right? Like, do you know anyone that invests in real estate? Do you know anyone that's made money? Do you know anyone that's lost money? And of course, people know, they know people that made money. They know people that lost money in real estate. And it all goes back really to the financial collapse because everyone was affected by that. And then we saw massive wealth. I mean, they talked about the shift of wealth at that time, how the wealthy just got wealthier. That did happen. There was a huge transfer of wealth, massive transfer of wealth. But there were also a lot of new millionaires being made and multi-millionaires being made. And they were being made, obviously, in real estate. They were being made in online businesses, things like that. Of course, brick and mortar businesses as well. But there was an enormous amount of wealth, new wealth that was created from, through that collapse. Once we got out of '08 and into '09, when people were like, okay, 9 and 10, when people were like, okay, what do we need to do? By 13 and 14, people were in it. They were really making money. They were picking stuff up. But most people, they had a plan. They had a game plan. And now with, you know, a global pandemic that we're going through, a lot of uncertainty in the stock market. We've got goo gobs of money being thrown into the market from a number of different places, like mandatory distributions for people with retirement accounts. They need to know what to do with that money. Do they pay off debt or do they reinvest it in some place? But there's so much uncertainty in the real estate, I mean, not in the real estate, in the stock market, that, they don't necessarily want to dive right into that. But it's what they know. I mean, it's where their money has been. And they've been able to weather a lot of these storms and make, 6% annual returns, coming uh, out of the financial crisis. And even under our previous administration with Trump, the stock market did quite well. People were getting those 10% gains and sometimes even more. I mean, there was a couple years where people were getting 50% gains as the market was gaining momentum after the financial collapse, when people started to reinvest in real estate and put money back into their businesses and things of that nature. So now is the time to make those plans. Now is the time to put your fear to the side and say, okay, what do I need to do for myself to get involved in real estate now, before we miss out on an opportunity? And you're never really missing out on an opportunity. You're just kind of pushing it to the side, but you don't want to do that. You don't want to procrastinate in this particular way, right? In this manner. That's just not what you want to do. You want to take action and you want to do it right now. But how do you do it? What does having a game plan mean? It means a couple different things, right? I wrote a few things down. I'm just kind of jotting as I go as well. But in this game plan, it's what do I do? Am I wholesaling? Am I doing fix and flips? Am I buy and hold? Am I multifamily? Am I commercial? I mean, what am I? Right? These are the things that you have to decide for yourself what you like. And the fact that you may or may not have money or credit really doesn't matter. You can do real estate with zero money, zero. And it just depends on what you want to do. I mean, I have these consultation calls with people that say, listen, I want to get involved in real estate, but I don't really know where to start. I don't have any money. I don't have any credit. I just know that I want my situation to change. Man, I absolutely appreciate that. I understand that. I've been there, and I understand what it takes to push yourself through that, or pull yourself actually through that, because it can be a daunting task, a very difficult mental ordeal and emotional ordeal sometimes when you're creating that shift, in your life. And that's what it takes. I mean, you have to, in order to really make that mental shift, you know, to really create the person you want to be, you have to stop saying, I want to do a thing, and you have to own it. You've got to claim it. Like me, I made a commitment to becoming a successful real estate investor. I made a verbal commitment to myself out loud, and I wrote it down. No longer do I want to invest in real estate. I am a real estate investor, period. And in that ownership, I found motivation. I found energy. That was part of my game plan, and I'm sharing that with you. This has to be a part of your game plan as well. In order for you to be successful, you have to stop saying, I want to be, I'm trying to be. You have to own it. You've got to own it. If you're a truck driver, you don't say, Well, I'm trying to drive trucks. You're a truck driver and you own it. You've got the CDL license and you're driving all over the place, picking up and dropping off stuff. You are a truck driver. You own that and you get up and you do that and you find energy in that. Whatever it is you do, you own that. It belongs to you. You are that thing until you decide to be something else. And once you have that commitment, speak it loud. Say it. Verbally say it. I am a real estate investor. If you're listening and you're watching this right now, say it. I am a real estate investor. You're not trying to do anything. I am a real estate investor. That is the first thing you need to have in your game plan. I am a real estate investor. You're not trying to do anything. You're not working on anything. Yes, we know that you're constantly shifting and building and growing and scaling. That's the nature of everything, right? But own it. Own it. It's yours. Now, having said that, once you've taken ownership and you know now that you are a real estate investor, it's a matter of deciding where you go. And you want to look at your attributes, your credit, your financial situation, and say, okay, I don't have any money, I don't have any credit, or I have bad credit. What do I need to do? Well, one of the things you want to do is set yourself up for tomorrow. You want to set yourself up for tomorrow. So go get yourself a credit card, a secured credit card, if that's what it takes. Whatever it is, start to build your credit. Okay? It's going to take you a year and a half, maybe two, before you can buy your own house, or maybe you own your own house. Maybe you don't have anything. It doesn't really matter. But if you've got bad credit or no credit, start to fix that right away. Don't run away from it. Fix it. Deal with it. Answer the phone when the bill collectors call. In fact, some people will say don't reach out to them. I had to go through this myself after the financial collapse. I called my credit. Whatever I could get off of my credit, I got it off my credit, right? And then I negotiated everything else. If I owed $1,000 on this thing, I was trying to settle it for pennies on the dollar. If they were unwilling to meet me at 20 or 30 cents and I had to be at 50 cents on the dollar, I would set up payment arrangements, to get that taken care of. Because once that's taken care of, your credit starts to go up. Once your credit starts to go up, you can start to utilize it in your business, okay? Because you're going to need it. You're going to need it if you want to be successful. Can you do no money down deals all the time? Yeah, you can. But if you are preparing yourself to make money, to be successful, at some point, you're going to have $50,000, $100,000 in the bank, and you're going to not want it in the bank. You're going to want it to be earning. Those are your soldiers. You're the general, okay? You have to give the marching orders for your soldiers so your soldiers can go on out there and produce. That's just what it is. You just need that to occur, okay? Your money is your soldier. You can use whatever analogy you want to use. It doesn't really matter, but you need to put those little workers to work because that's what they're there for. By leaving them in the bank or in some CD or the bond market or anything, you're losing money with it sitting in the bank. It's inflation. If inflation is running at, 2.5% a year, meaning you got $100,000 in the bank this year. If you don't touch it next year, it's not worth $100,000 anymore. It's worth 2.5% less. So it's worth $97,500 now. That is inflation. If you have a savings account that's paying you 0.25% a year, well, that's nothing. Did you offset your 2.5%? Yeah, you did. You got 0.25% on on $100,000. What is that? 1% that's $250, right? It's $250. There's a lot of other things that you could do to make more money passively than that. But again, you want to put that money to work. You want your money to do, 20, 30, 40, 50% a year when you've got small amounts of money. When it's smaller, like for me, when I did my first deal, I put 25% of that, I turned $300 into $6,000 in one deal. Obviously, that is a great return. But, that was $300. I didn't even spend it all because some of it was, that's all I had. Some of it was gas. I had to buy a ream of paper so that I could print my flyers, because I went door knocking. That's what I did. And so I didn't actually spend all of that $300, right? But that's all I had when I started. And I made $6,000. I spent, well, I have to stop saying I spent. I invested 1,500 of that, 25% of that back into my business. And that investment brought me in the next 30 days up somewhere in the area of about 18,000. So in a quarter, I made a little over $70,000. That money for me at that point was life changing, right? It was life changing. It allowed me to get a few things. I had credit as well, but it allowed me to establish a home for my family of ownership. It just allowed me to do a lot of things, right? But it also allowed me to buy into deals that I couldn't get when I was trying to do no money down deals, because inevitably you're going to run across a great deal. And that great deal is going to require money because the person knows they have to sell it, right? They're not in a situation where they can be the bank for you. There's no owner financing available. They're not in a situation where they can really assist you, and they need to sell this thing fast. And it's a fire sale for them. They need the money for one reason or another. Who knows? But they're selling it, and they need to get it gone as fast as possible. Well, if you don't have money in those situations, you're going to lose a great deal. But if you have money, now you can go ahead and you can take care of it. You can buy it and you can go and you can do what you need to do. Can you wholesale that? Possibly so. You possibly can. But that's a whole nother thing. Again, it's a part of having this game plan and understanding where you want to go. Understanding of your situation, of your path is primary. So you've taken ownership, and now we're putting this game plan together. So now, if you're going to be wholesaling, wholesaling is deal to deal. We have a wholesale business because we enjoy that business, right? We enjoy helping other people all the time. We're problem solvers. We're helping people in certain situations get out of it. We're helping people that want to learn how to wholesale. We employ people. So, we are problem solvers, solution creators. And I think that's really why I personally enjoy the wholesale business. I just love that part. You're solving problems. There's the negotiations, but it's more of the problem solving and finding ways to make things happen that I like more than anything. So, but you can't really build the life that you envision for yourself in that space by doing one deal at a time. Even if you're scaling it up and you're doing 20, 30 wholesale deals a month, which there are people that are doing that, right? But you've got a big team, you've got to scale it, you've got a business, you've got processes and systems, you've got standard operating procedures, you employ people, you got VAs, you've got direct mail campaigns, you've got cold calling going on. I mean, just a million different things going on, and you have to stay on top of that. Now, when you have an operation of that size, it's very important for you to delegate. But when you're just starting out, you're not going to have that, and you're going to be scaling. And for you, scaling means more time being spent in your business. Now, for me, when I started this business, I did not start this business to create a job for myself. It's not what I wanted to do. I started this business because I wanted freedom. I wanted freedom to get up and get out and do what I wanted to do. Maybe I want to sleep till 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock in the morning. I want to have the freedom to do that. Not that I do that, but I wanted the freedom to do that. I wanted the freedom to take my family on a 2-week vacation, not just for the money, but the time, right? So, because a lot of people, you have your job and you save up these hours or days every year so that you can take this vacation because it pays. You still get paid. You have that vacation time built up, right? I don't want to do that once a year. I want to do that once a quarter. I want to be able to take my family when my children are out of school. I want to be able to take my family somewhere, and do something. It may be just a 5 or 6 hour drive from here. We live in Atlanta. Maybe I want to take them to Orlando for 3 days or 4 days, and we just drive down there. Nice little family trip. Maybe I want to take them on a cross country trip over to LA, and we're just going to be out there. Maybe we want to go pop up in Vegas or see the Grand Canyon. I don't know, but I want the freedom to do it. And the way I built my business allows me to have that freedom. I am not interested in creating 50 businesses that keep me busy, 12, 15 hours a day. That's not what I'm in business for. But there are people that are. And that's fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. We all have our limitations. We know what we like. We know what we don't like. We know what we want. We know what we don't want. And our palates change over time as well. Because there was a time that I wanted to work all day, every day. I got up early in the morning and I went and worked out, and, I'm hitting the phones by, 8:30, or I'm at my meetings, or I'm checking out my projects, and I'm doing it all day. I'm looking for more deals here. I'm meeting these people over here, lunch meeting over there, and you're putting, 200-300 miles on your car every day just being busy. You're busy being busy. That's not being effective. So you got to learn to be effective. So anyway, getting back, if you're wholesaling first, what's next? You're going to implement systems as you create success for yourself. You're going to get the cold callers so you don't have to do that anymore, right? You're going to hire a VA to handle all of your stuff, maybe your email campaigns or just organization, whatever it is you need. You're going to get yourself a VA, a part-time VA, that's maybe, a couple $100 a week. That's handling that for you. So it's taking that off your plate. It's just there for you, right? You're paying for it, but you have your time back. And that time is absolutely more precious and more valuable than the money. So now you figured out, okay, cool. I'm wholesaling. I've got my VAs, and I'm doing my deals. I have time. That time allows me to do more deals, which makes me more money. So now what's next? What do you do next? You've made some money. You've got some people working for you. You've got some processes in place. Now what? Maybe it's fix and flips. Maybe it's buy and hold. So you have to now build a strategy that makes sense for you from that point on. Because again, what is wholesaling? Wholesaling is doing one deal to make X number of dollars. Then you got to do it again to make more money, and again, and again, and again, and again. It's this whole process that starts over every time. So maybe now you want to get into buy and hold. So now you start to learn that process. What is it? Single family, multifamily. But let's keep it simple, right? Maybe it's single family. So now you have a whole single family business that you want to start to build for yourself, because why? You want one thing. Well, two things. One is you're going to start generating passive income for yourself. So you do one deal, it may pay you $400-500 a month if you do it right. You do 2 or 3 of those a month because you've gotten good at finding deals, right? And you've gotten good at negotiating. You've learned how to insert yourself into deals with as little money as possible, because you're not going to be able to go to your bank and get loans all the time. And there are other lenders out there that are going to loan you money at 7 and 8%, but those rates are in today's world not very good. But you've got to be buying it perfectly to actually make that make sense. But you're going to do some of that at some point. but you're also going to be working on owner finance deals. And you're going to wind up doing these deals and how you exit these deals. And look, some people want to be in that for 10 years. You want to hold stuff for as long as possible. Me personally, I play the economic cycles. I'm obviously going to get in with some kind of an equity base. I'm always looking for that. There's different cycles as to how you invest. There's when the market is up like it is now, it's not all the way up, but it's up. What does that mean? How do you invest there? Are you're doing cash flow investing up here? When the market is down, meaning when there's going to be a lot of foreclosures out there, that's going to force prices of homes to come down. Now you're doing a cost valuation, meaning you're not going to get a whole lot of these. I don't think the market is going to do what it did in 2008, but there's different levels to it. But I'm just giving you the broad strokes here. When it's at the bottom, you're doing cost valuations, meaning how much does it cost for me to build this home? Let's say it's a house that you could pick up for $130,000, but in today's market, in the world of construction today, it might cost $180,000 to actually build that house. The market is depressed. So now you're investing for equity, and you're waiting now for the market to shift, as it always does, because at some point the cost to manufacture that house, the value of that house will increase over time because of whatever economic factors are occurring to get that property up to the point where it's going to be worth that 180 that it costs to actually build it. You hold it a little longer, maybe it's 200, 220. And so it's an equity game that you're playing there. Yes, you're getting cash flow, but you're getting equity in addition to that. So the market conditions will dictate how you invest. So you have to be aware of that as well. A lot of people aren't. They're just looking at the cash flow game, which is important, but the equity game is what makes you wealthy. Cash flow will make you wealthy over time. Equity will make you uber wealthy over time. But I digress. Let's go back for a second. So you've got this property. It makes you $400 or $500 a month. You've learned how to exit properly, so you don't have to be picking up the phone at 11 o'clock at night to go and fix a toilet or a leaky radiator, or a leaky faucet or water heater. You don't have to do any of that. So you just keep doing more. You do 2 or 3 of those a month. Now you're making, $1,500 passively a month. You want to go buy a new car, go do another deal. Let that house that you're about to acquire pay for that car that you want to go and buy. So it doesn't have to come out of your earnings, okay? I mean, technically it does. It's all about how you look at it. It's all about how you look at it. So you want to be there. But you do that every month over month. And I'm only talking about the residual money that comes in from this. I'm not talking about the down payments that you're going to get and how much you profit from that. I'm talking specifically about how you can begin to create this passive income for yourself. And listen, you don't have to start out as a wholesaler to do that, but you can immediately start doing that. Again, it depends on a few things. It depends on your credit. Again, it doesn't matter if you have credit, money. It doesn't really matter if you have money, or your mouthpiece. That does matter. You have to have the ability to negotiate. So what that means is this. When I started out in wholesaling, I only knew one way to do real estate. That's it. That's all I knew. I hadn't gotten a coach or a mentor yet. So it was just me reading books, trying to do it myself, which took forever. It took 2.5 years before I really made any money. And I had already hired a coach to help me get out of whatever it was that I was in. And that person, he helped me tremendously in a very, very, what some people would say, in a very short period of time. But it took 3 months before I started to really change my life of working with him. But that's no time. But I'd spent the past 27 months trying to learn how to do this on my own. And I was just reading about wholesaling, and I had one equation. ARV, or after repair value, times 0.65 or 65% minus renovations, minus whatever profit I wanted, equaled my maximum offer, right? Which I call the MAO, maximum, allowable offer. And I did that over and over, and I just left tons of deals out there because I didn't know how to negotiate. I didn't know how to look at any other deals. I only knew this one thing, right? So I lost opportunity because I didn't see it. I didn't see it. So, which brings me to my next point. Having a mentor will help you be able to see these things. So when you're out there negotiating, you may be negotiating for an owner finance opportunity for yourself in your portfolio, but it may be a wholesale opportunity that you can go out and make yourself a quick $3, $5, $7, $10,000 on. But you have to be able to see it. And it's your negotiation game that's going to help you see the opportunity inside the conversation and the listening skills that you have while you're negotiating. Okay? So setting up that game plan is absolutely important. I can't stress it enough. Without having a game plan, you're just out here, flailing around, trying to figure stuff out and make money. You spend money, it's gone. That ain't what you want. That is not what you want. You want success, and success requires a plan. Luck isn't going to get you everywhere you want to go. It'll get you some places, but it ain't going to get you everywhere. So you have to have this game plan. So if you're listening to this, go to, I'm going to put a link in here. Let me make a note of that. Link the game plan. All right, so what that game plan is it's a personal strategy call. It's a 30-minute call to see, what it is you want to do, how you want to do it, and how my team can help you get there a little faster. Even if you don't decide to work with us, that's fine. You're going to have a game plan that's specific to your needs, specific to your situation. So, just check the link out in this and, schedule your time and let's have a call. Let's see what it is. I mean, I've got people that I work with every day that take these calls. I, on occasion actually take these calls. But we put this game plan together for you that is specific to your need. So you're going to need it, whether you're working with me or whether you're working with someone else or you decide to go at it on your own. You're going to need a plan. And in the world that we're living in today, with the opportunities that are presenting themselves now and will continue to do that probably for the next 12 months, this is the time where you get the opportunity to change your financial life forever. So make sure you seize the opportunity. Now, again, please, if you're watching this and you like it, download it, subscribe it, share it, comment, engage on whatever platform you're listening, YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, whatever, whether you're listening to this podcast on your device or you're watching YouTube on one of your devices. Like it, subscribe, share, comment, engage with me. And I promise you I'm going to get you that shout out. So, without further ado, we're going to close this first episode. I want to thank you all for your time and make sure you check out next week. Oh, I got a plug next week. So next week we have Dave Seymour. Dave Seymour of the Flipping Formula. You got to be there. You got to check him out. You're going to love what he has to say. We're doing a two-part series, one for beginning investors and one for multifamily investors. You want to be there. It's Mr. Dave Seymour on the next two episodes. So get to it, you guys. Hit that link. Get that game plan. Let's get it. Peace.